Spring4shell was publicly disclosed end of March 2022. It impacts app using Spring framework, an open source framework widely used for building enterprise Java application. This vulnerability has a high CVSS score of 9.8. Based on the initial finding, the vulnerability does not impact all Spring framework. If your application meets these prerequisites, it can be exploited. But it might be a good idea to keep an eye on your apps, as security researchers are still unpacking the coverage and impact of this vulnerability. The vulnerability gives unauthenticated remote code execution to an attacker, which could result in a web shell being installed onto the compromised server. This can further be used to execute arbitrary commands remotely. For the demo, we will use a vulnerable app. This is how the uncompromised app looks like in Arali, an ingress coming in to the container and a few connections going out. Now going to the terminal to demo the attack. The vulnerable Spring app is running as a container. This is what we saw in Arali UI as well. This is the attack machine that will wait for a backdoor to get established. We will pass a carefully crafted input to the front end to cause it to execute my malicious code. The exploit worked, and I have a backdoor on the container. I can now remotely run any command on the container. Going back to the Arali UI, I can clearly see a backdoor being created to my malicious server hosted in Brazil. Now coming to remediation. Unlike other tools, Arali can remediate your vulnerable app via resilient shielding. I can turn on enforcement, which will only allow approved green connection and block everything else. Let's go back to the terminal and rerun the command. This time I get nothing, no backdoor. There is not much I can do as an attacker. With Arali, you can both detect as well as remediate Spring4shell vulnerabilities till your team upgrades all your impacted application. If this sounds interesting, go to aralinetworks.com for a free trial today. Thank you.